the waiting women. Inside the burgundy leather compartment of a Delaunay Belleville landaulette, a serious young woman with a heart-shaped face sat with an English novel on her lap, lit by a naphtha lamp. Audrey Lewis, Mrs. Lewis to her employers and Lala to her beloved charge, was cold. She pulled the bushy lambskin up over her lap. Her hands were gloved, and she wore a wolf fur hat and a thick coat. But still, she shivered. She ignored the driver, Pantaleon, when he climbed into his seat, flicking his cigarette into the snow. Her brown eyes never left the door of the school. "Hurry up, Sashenka," Lala muttered to herself in English. She checked the brass clock set into the glass division that kept the chauffeur at bay. Not long now. A maternal glow of anticipation spread across her chest. She imagined Sashenka's long-limbed figure running towards her across the snow. Few mothers picked up their children from the Smolny Institute, and almost no fathers. But Lala, the governess, always collected Sashenka. Just a few minutes, my child, she thought. My adorable, clever, solemn child. The lanterns shining through the delicate tracery of ice on the dim car windows bore her away to her childhood home in Pegston, a village in Hertfordshire. She had not seen England for 6 years, and she wondered if she would ever see her family again. But if she had stayed there, she would never have known her darling Sashenka. 6 years ago, she had accepted a position in the household of Baron and Baroness Zeitlin and a new life in the Russian capital, St Petersburg. 6 years ago, a young girl in a sailor suit had greeted her coolly, examined her searchingly, and then offered the Englishwoman her hand, as if presenting a bouquet. The new governess spoke scarcely a word of Russian, but she knelt on one knee and enclosed that small, hot hand in her own palms. The girl, at first hesitantly, then with growing pressure, leaned against her, finally laying her head on Lala's shoulder. "Меня зовут Mrs. Lewis," said the Englishwoman in bad Russian. "Greetings to a bespoke guest, Lala. I am benamed Sashenka," replied the child in appalling English. And that had been that. Mrs. Lewis was henceforth benamed Lala. The need met the moment. They loved each other on sight. "It's 2 minutes to 5, said the chauffeur tinnily through the speaking tube. The governess sat forward, unhooked her own speaking tube, and spoke into the brass cup in excellent Russian, though with an English intonation. "Thank you, Pantaleon." "What are the pharaohs doing here?" said the driver. Everyone used the slang term for the political police, the gendarmerie. He chuckled. "Maybe the schoolgirls are hiding German codes in their petticoats." Lala was not going to discuss such matters with a chauffeur. "Pantaleon, I'll need you to come in and get her trunk," she said sternly. But why were the gendarmes there, she wondered. The girls always came out on time. Madame Buxhoven, the headmistress, known to the girls as Grandmaman, ran the institute like a Prussian barracks, but in French. Lala knew that Grandmaman was a favourite of the Dowager Empress Maria Fyodorovna and the reigning Empress Alexandra. A cavalry officer and a gaggle of schoolboys and students in gold-button uniforms and caps walked through the gates to meet their sweethearts. In Russia, even schoolboys had uniforms. When they saw the 3 gendarmes, they started, then walked on, glancing back. What were the political police doing at a boarding school for noble girls? Waiting to convey their master's daughters home, the coachman, in ankle-length padded robes lined with thick white lamb's fur, red sashes and bowler hats, stamped their feet and attended to their horses. They too observed the gendarmes. 5 o'clock. The double doors of the Smolny swung open, casting a ribbon of canary light down the steps towards the gates. "Ah, here they come!" Lala tossed her book aside. At the top of the steps, Madame Buxhoven, severe in her black cape, serge dress, and high white collar, appeared in the tent of light, as if on wheels like a sentry on a Swiss clock, thought Lala. Grandmaman's mottled bosom, as broad as an escarpment, was visible even at this distance, and her ringing soprano could crack ice at 100.